So Colin Jost is officially a DILF. I can say that, right? He announced on Instagram that he and, as you know, his wife is Scarlett Johansson. Colin Jost and Scarlett Johansson just had a baby together. He told us the baby's name. But before I tell you the baby's name, I want Anthony to play the one thing that everybody on Twitter was posting. As soon as he announced we had a baby, we love him, we're doing great, whatever. This was the response on Twitter.
Cosmo. 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 Cosmo.
That's what they called the baby?
Well, we're not sure. I mean, that's what he said. No one's sure if that's actually the baby's name or if it's a joke. Because, Colin Jost is very sarcastic. So here's what he wrote. He only had words, no pictures on Instagram. And it said, okay, we had a baby. His name is Cosmo. We love him very much. And then you page to the next thing. And it says, privacy would be greatly appreciated. For all inquiries, please contact our publicist. And it's Michael Che. And then he had 3 hashtags. Hashtag we got away with it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag no kids policy. And hashtag we're going to go to Disney World.
That's true. How did they hide that for 9 months?
I know, isn't it? Well, it's really easy when you're a celebrity and you live in New York City and it's a pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have, look, they're very real people. They're not the Kardashians. They don't have a chef and a housekeeper. And, it's just them and her kid. I think she has a 3 or 4-year-old. I don't know how old, maybe 5. She's got a kid from her first husband. So it's them and the kid. And it's very easy to just be at home,
For 9 months and nobody leak anything about it.
Okay, wait. So she's Scarlett Johansson. So she's teeny tiny. So when she was like 6 months pregnant, she looked like she ate a grape.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? It probably wasn't until the last couple of months they decided to not be seen by the paparazzi. It's easy to. I'm telling you, celebrities live all around New York City and we don't see them all day long. We just see the ones who know where to go. They know where the paparazzi are, or they contact the paparazzi and say, hey, by the way, Britney Spears is in New York. She's going to be dining at, whatever, and she'll be at Nobu on Friday.
But Cosmo?
Well, that's the thing. Did they name the baby Cosmo? Maybe, or maybe it's a joke. No, but nobody's quite sure.
Cosmo was in the band Nucleus. There was a rapper named Cosmo back in the day.
Okay.
So is that where they got it from? That's the only time I've ever heard that name.
Maybe it's his grandpa, and he wanted to name the baby after his grandpa. He's been on tour. He was at, it wasn't with you. So the last radio station I worked at, we had a lot of comedians who came through from Levity Lounge, which is in like Nyack, New York. So anytime anybody like Andrew Dice Clay, they get all the biggies.
Mm-hmm.
They would come through Nyack, New York to Levity Lounge, and we would have them on the show. So that's where Colin Jost has been performing with my old friend Yumika Saunders is opening up for him. And then another comic, I forget what his name is. But so he's got 2 comics opening up for him. So he's been doing the circuit. And I guess at one point on stage, he let slip that he was having a baby. So that's how we found out. Yeah, that's how we found out just recently that Scarlett Johansson was pregnant and that he let it slip. So about like a couple of weeks ago, it was Scarlett Johansson's pregnant. So we're expecting, that she just found out a couple of months ago. She's 3 months pregnant. We're going to watch her grow. We're going to watch the pregnancy, and she's going to be photographed somewhere getting coffee. And we're going to be like, oh, look at her baby bump. No, she was literally like 9.5 months pregnant by then. She was ready to pop.
Now we know for a fact he got laid.
That's going to be the most gorgeous baby in the world. Like, that's going to be the kind of baby when it comes down the street, there's going to be like a light glowing.
and it's only going to be able to marry a Kardashian kid or something like that.
Remember, like years ago, it was like so and so's pregnant. Oh my god! And now you see the kid, and they're like 15.
Right, and they have their own Instagram account, and there's 45,000 billion people that follow them.
Right, and they have a life and a personality, and you know what they look like, you know what they're into, and who they are, and it's like, oh my god, that's so and so's kid. Like you feel like the grandpa, or you feel like you're like an auntie, where you're like, I knew you before you were born. I knew your mother before you were born. It's like we don't know you.
Yeah, and then they turn out to be a nightmare. It's like, oh, we should have done better.